Oh, shut up, for crying out loud, would you? So I had to do some more work on the Super Dodge. I had to go get new batteries because it wouldn't even crank over one morning. And I've got one solenoid on the grid heater that's not working. God, Lord, I'm going to shut the door on him. Anyway, so I ordered that. So in order to get it to start when it's cold, you basically have to cycle that one heater at least 4 times. And then she'll fire right up. Otherwise, if you don't, you're just going to wear the starter out trying to get it to go. Oh, and I ordered a new battery temperature sensor too. I want to thank you guys that gave me the tip that that's what can cause overcharging. So I'm going to go ahead and change that and see if it'll stop its overcharging. Okay, now I forgot. Are we on number 3 or 4? I can't remember. Let's try it. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh, look what's back in the shop. So I had to put new batteries in it, and I had to get a new switch for the grid heater because one of the solenoids is not working and it's not heating that other grid heater, so don't want to start. Then my belts were squealing like hell, and I discovered that my water pump was leaking around the outside of it. I think all it was the O-ring. It was just smashed flat. But I went and got a new water pump anyway. I get them from Pioneer Equipment. They're identical to the pickup ones, the same ones they use on the tractors. Anyway, he looked it up. That water pump had been on there since 2012. So it'll be interesting to see how long this one goes. Hey Blaine, thanks for the pump, man. I'm using it in the Super Dodge. Just put a water pump on her. Works good. Only I gotta kink it. It's a little too much flow. So I got my relay out and I tested it. There's nothing wrong with it. These are the wires that go down to it, supply power. I think that's my problem right there. You see how that looks black and discolored? There's been a lot of heat there. Just remember the ground cable I had to do up on the grid heater. Anyway, so you cannot buy this harness from Dodge. There's a part number on here, but you can't get this separate. So Dodge wants you to buy the complete battery cable kit. And then this comes with it, which is, if I remember right, these wires originally are soldered into the battery cable terminal, and mine rotted off and corroded, so I soldered this copper lug on there and then bolted it to those military style battery connectors that I have. So anyway, I just got some wire. So they call this a fusible link. So basically you come in to this. This is like, I think this is 6 gauge. That's what I got. Seemed to be the same, yeah. So this is 6 gauge. And this right here, I believe, I can't remember what it was. I just bought a short piece. I think it's 8. This is 8. So I don't understand. Only thing I can see with a fusible link is basically you're going to melt this wire, because you're going in with this puny stuff and you're going with the big stuff. to the solenoids, and then from the solenoids you're going with the same size wire, number 6, up to the grid heaters. So I just bought a piece of wire, and I got some of these, or I can go with these, which are a number 8 to 6 connector. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, this is what I'm going to crimp these ends on with. So this is made by Temco, and this is a tool place out of California. So I have this small one, which is rated 5 ton, and then I have a great big one here, and this is the one we use on our 2/0 stuff, and this will do really big stuff. It'll do MCM cable, great big high voltage stuff. But for the smaller stuff, this is the one we use, and then this one will go up as big as 2/0. And so we'll use this small one on smaller connectors, but if you want to get up over like a battery cable connector, you got to go use the bigger one, because once you get this crimped, you can't get this over the terminal. So this one works great for smaller stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use these 6 to 8 connectors. All you got to do is just take a sharp knife, cut down them, take a pair of dikes and clip on the ends, and you can get these out real easy. Okay, so before you crimp this end on, go get your rubber boots off of your old cable, cut your cable, slide that on first before you do this. Actually, that's on backwards. Thanks for reminding me. I got to turn around because it's got to go the other end. So you just got to put your connector in there, tighten the deal up, and put it on and start pumping. Make sure you get it in there where it's going to do it. Get your wires in and just start crimping down. There you go. A good, nice crimp. I just got to get some shrink wrap over it, but first I'll cut off the length to go to the fusible link part of it. So here was something I should have had years ago, and I just got mad the other day and found one on Amazon and ordered it. So can you pronounce that name? Ashnish? Use this baby, your ass is going to be nish. So it has knives and little attachments and stuff like that. This will come in handy for doing shrink wrap, better than using the MAP gas torch. Okay, got my heat gun, so let's figure out how to use this. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to do the 6 gauge end of it. If you tighten the valve, it would help, Jeff. Yeah, best thing to do is just kind of snug it up in there where you want it, which I need to be clear out here on the end. Then go ahead and stick your wire in, that way you can hold it tight as you get ready to crimp it. There we go. There we go. So on a Dodge, these go into the battery terminal where my terminals were messed up. So I put military style ends on them. Let me show you what that looks like. Since I got a crimper kit, so I cut all the, like these are your main ones. This had the actual terminal on it. I cut them off and I went into Napa. You can get these anywhere. This is a military style connector. So this is where your bolt tightens down on the battery, and then this big 3/8 bolt is where all this stuff goes through. And it looks like I had to cut off my main power supply one, and I soldered these in, and then I just used tape on them. Best thing in the world to do is get these really good sticky ones, because when you heat them up, there's a gob of goo that comes out of them, lets you know that it's sealed weather tight, and they're super thick. Anyway, best investment you'll ever make is to get these kind of terminals. Hope I'm not making a mistake here, but I couldn't find what I needed. You just can't find. Local Napa didn't have a fusible link big enough to do this, so here we are. All right. I need to check my cables that go to my grid heater too, make sure one of those isn't corroded to death, because if it is, you can actually buy those aftermarket, but I could build them too if I had to. I have the technology. Like I say, that crimping gun's not that expensive. If you work on your own rigs and you need to make battery cables, it's worth every penny to get one of these. Like I said though, this is going to have a hard time doing 2/0 stuff. I think you'd be fine with the 1/0, but you can do everything clear up to 2/0 if you just use those military style battery terminals. That's going to eliminate, the problem of getting the head in and out of here, getting it over the cable. I think it was just the 2/0 cable. It's too big to undo this and get it out. And see the way this is built, these are tight to get in and out of there. So. All right, got to cut this one off and then we'll install it. Okay, got it installed. So there's my new wire right there, and if you can see there's the solenoids right there, just bolts to the fender. If you got to work on this, take your battery out, gonna make it a whole lot easier. And then the bolts that hold the solenoid down are 10mm, and the nuts that hold the cables to it are 13mm, 1/2 inch. Anyway, piece of cake. So while I'm working out here in the shop on the Challenger, I got a couple pieces of mail that I've had in the house for a day or two at least. So let's open these up, see what I got. So this is from Jeff Johns in Fresno, California. Read your letter, Jeff. I will take care of that ASAP. Now let's pull this out and see what you sent me. So I'm hanging on to this with my gut in one hand. It was rolled up so tight, and he used zip ties. So I want to let you know, Jeff, it's against the law to use duct tape and zip ties. Anyway, so it's a John Deere calendar. I got to figure out how to get it to lay flat. I may have to send this to Frank Cunningham. Thanks, Jeff. I'm going to get you a Jpaydirt calendar coming your way ASAP. So this comes from W. Waddell out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. This is the Canadian version of Well, Market Book, I think they have it here. It's like Machinery Trader too. Anyway, so we saw this Wabco truck. He says that's about $22,000 US dollars from Canadian. But the weird thing about this Wabco is it's got like I think 1825 tires on it instead of the big 1833s. So we kind of were steering away from it because of the small rubber. I guess that's because it's a 1965. Well, anyway, thanks for the reading material, Mr. Waddell. So I assume all this is in Canadian money, eh? What is yeah, I need that right there. How about that? 200,000. So in American dollars, that would be how much less? What's the Canadian dollar? How many Canadian dollars to American? Anyway, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. There, put 50 pounds of iron on it. Maybe it'll settle out. Anyway, John Deere dealers. French Camp. California, Oregon. From Pap Machinery. Let's go get a Pap Machinery smear. Need a pape smear? I'd like to open it up, but I can't get it to settle down, so I might have to leave it like that for a day or two. Oh, good frosty Monday morning, February 7th. Got some stuff going in the box. Okay, got a hat going to Garrett Rinke out of Greeley, Colorado. Calendar going to Marvin Geisler, Dexter, Minnesota. And one going to Dan Clement in San Marcos, California. Thank you, guys. Oh, me and Mr. Griffey got to go to town. Mail off some bills and whatnot. Oh, it's Jake's birthday today. Happy birthday, Jake. It was Matt's on the 3rd. Happy birthday, Matt. Anyway, Matt's in Montana. Jake's having a day off, I bet, today. Anyway, Mr. Griffey's ready to go. Ready to roll. Hey, so actually, I have several people that asked me where I got these. So, Blaine Keese sent me these. I think he said one of them came from Harbor Freight. And that's the name of the other one. I don't know which one came from where, but these things are like awesome.